Yes. See, when you issued this, where is it? All right. This minute order, yes. That is not in the laws of the state of Washington, and it's probably not anywhere in any law. Yes. To issue a minute order, to reissue a protection order, yes. While somebody's on trial, yes, for the allegation of violating the other protection order. Now, there was no reason for me to appear in court because I'm not obligated to appear in court because you decided to issue a minute order. Now, those two sheriffs, yes, I'm going to call them to the stand. And they probably have some record of going out there and personally reading to me the minute order that said that I broke the protection order. Yes. Now, I didn't break the protection order. I was found not guilty. Mm. Now, after having the jury trial, yes, you had already reissued the protection order for an additional year. And my record was expunged at the time of the jury trial because I was on probation. Right. And since I was on probation, as soon as I was found not guilty, I was not guilty. Yes. Then immediately, yes. The see order reissuing temporary protection order. The sheriffs went out there. I think that was the time. Yes. 14 hours before the court hearing, and I told them I'm not going to court. I was on trial for the allegation of violating this protection order. Yes. Where I was given no due process. Right. You issued a 12-month protection order. Yes. My wife filed for dissolution of marriage. Yes. You arrested me. Yes, you did. And served me at the same moment. And then a week after she filed for dissolution of marriage, she petitioned the court for the renewal of the protection order while I was on trial for the allegation of violating the fraudulent protection order. Now, this minute order, Brent Basden, yeah, I don't need any quacks practicing law in the state of Washington. Now, this welfare embezzlement, yes, I would say the issuance of a court order embezzling from welfare funds, yes. That would be issuing a temporary order for child support, yes, without any notice to myself, right. And then there was the issuance of the permanent order for child support, where welfare right now was going to collect on that using child support services. Now, when we look through the implants, yes. Was it Homeland Security that decided that they would use child support services to have people arrested that were not going to go their way of the Manchurian? Because, as I understand it, when you violate the rights of Americans, yes, and then you issue court orders that end up being the order for support, yes, and right now, it would be the embezzling of welfare funds, yes. Now there's theft by deception. Oh, well, there's a possibility of inheritances where Homeland Security, yes, Jane, thought we'll just have them issue dissolutions of marriage, and child support orders, yes, and protection orders without any enforcement of the rules, requirements, or rights. Now, let's say I found out that there were some actual inheritances that I'm being obstructed from receiving. Yes, that would be the use of the courts to facilitate theft by deception. Now, extortionate credit fraud. Oh, in a variety of business disputes and commercial litigations consistent with white collar and corporate crime, such as fraud, civil RICO is more likely to be used against a defendant than criminal RICO. There are two types of racketeering enforcements, right? I would think that I'm the civil RICO, yes. And then the government, the Department of Justice that uses those federal courts, yeah. They'd be the criminal RICO. Now, such claims are often attached to a suit by the plaintiffs as a means of increasing the defendant's exposure to the public. Yeah. Now, Michael Milken, yes. Junk bond magnet, yes. I want every bond in the United States that is C rated or below, yes. C, double C, triple C, yes, plus or minus. And D, double D, or triple D, that's right. And then those that are default, yes, he does. Now, this Michael Milliken, yeah, was involved in bond market manipulation. Yes, he was. Now, let's say, while reading this, racketeer influence corporations that, oh, see, constitutional, see, a while derided in many circles as unfair infringement of such ingrained constitutional rights as due process. I have explained that my right to due process is being violated. Yes, I sent you, well, 2,600,000 emails, and on November 15th of 2015, Swim Police Department, yes, I explained that when you issue a protection order without any notice or opportunity to be heard, yes, it violated my due process rights. Yes, and it was an obligation that you give the respondent notice of court hearings and the opportunity to be heard before a fair and impartial judge. Yes, it does. Now, it has been used extensively and successfully to prosecute thousands of individuals and organizations in the United States. Part of the Organized Crime Control Act, yes, of 19 RICO makes it unlawful to acquire, operate, or receive income from an enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. Now, I just identified numerous activities that are defined in the racketeering. Your obstruction of justice, my use of the federal court system to file both civil and criminal RICO lawsuits. Yes, yes, yes. Now, RICO, underlying tenet of RICO is to prove and prohibit a pattern of crimes conducted through an enterprise, which the statute defines as any individual, partnership, corporation, association, or other legal entity. Now, just so you know, Kingsway Foursquare Church is considered a legal entity. I'm going to sue Mike for racketeering. Yes, he is. And I'm going to want to speak to Marilyn about where she wants to reside. Yes. Now, these legal entities known as charities right now, I'm suing you. Foursquare. Well, I didn't want to go into this, but the truth of the matter is you are a legal entity. Now, any union or group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. Now, this idea of racketeering as defined as, they call it racketeer influence corrupt organizations. Let's say you're another church in Sequim, Washington, and I find out that Mike's the general. Yes. Because of security clearances, Community Church of Sequim. Yeah. And he was absolutely sure we're going to have a civil war. Yes. And he said we were going to go the way, and this is the way that we're going to do it. Yes. And you're going to make look-alike dogs of those that are congregants of the various congregations in Sequim, Washington. I will sue every church in Sequim, Washington for racketeering.